Ja Morant has actually spoke out and he went to the head office about Taylor Jenkins, which could largely have been a factor in the firing with just 9 games remaining in the regular season. I'm your host, Joey Mercer. This is another episode of Joe Mercer Sports Podcast. And before we get into it there today, I just want to thank everyone who's supported the channel up to this point and in the future. And to make sure to go down below, like the video if you enjoy what you saw here today, comment and let me know what you have to say on the topic or anything else that you'd like to see. Subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell for notifications. Without further ado, let's get into the article that we saw first, and also a tweet a little bit later on to kind of explain more about this whole Ja Morant fiasco involving Taylor Jenkins and the Memphis Grizzlies. So this article that I found here on Bleacher Report is by Julia Stumba, and it says Ja Morant Grizzlies reportedly tuned out Taylor Jenkins prior to firing his head coach. We know there were some internal issues between Santi Aldama and Desmond Bane, but we did not know really too much about Ja Morant or where he thought or felt about this. We're getting some more news on that here today, and that's why I wanted to bring you this video right away. It says here the Memphis Grizzlies' decision to fire Taylor Jenkins weeks before a playoff run came at least in part because the team believed the former head coach had lost the locker room, according to ESPN's Ramona Shelburne, Tim McMahon, and Michael C. Wright. So that's not great when that happens for a head coach, obviously, but was that a reason for him to be fired with 9 games left of the season, as well with 2 assistant coaches? Well, let's dive a little bit more into that. According to ESPN reporters, the internal perception was the players, most importantly Ja Morant, had tuned out Jenkins. The Grizzlies held the number 5 spot in the West when Jenkins was fired on Friday and remained in contention to beat out the Lakers for the 4th seed. Memphis had also gone 8-12 in their last 20 games and suffered blowout losses in 3 of 4 games prior to Jenkins' dismissal. So I thought it would have been a little bit strange with the amount of games remaining in the regular season, just because they were on a bit of a slump, to fire Taylor Jenkins. But now we're hearing that there's a lot of issues within the locker room, which makes a lot more sense, but the timing is still so strange for a firing like this to happen when the team was still successful despite some issues within the locker room. You think that they'd want to finish out the season and then look for options come off season to go into the next year. Also says here that stretch included a March 25th win over the Jazz, during which Desmond Bane and Santi Aldama were recorded having a heated conversation, which we had talked about in the video on Taylor Jenkins firing, the first on this channel actually, in a courtside huddle. The Athletic's Sam Amick, Fred Katz, and Joe Varden later reported the confrontation took place between Bane, asked Aldama if he was going to guard anybody. I think you can fill in the word that I didn't say there. I won't say it here on this channel, but I guess you can kind of figure out. It starts with the letter F. According to Shelburne, McMahon, and Wright, a player for a rival Western Conference team said the team had lost all of its swagger over this stretch. A Grizzlies team source meanwhile told ESPN, "You could just tell no one was on the same page." Grizzlies general manager Zach Kleiman told reporters on Saturday that the decision to fire Jenkins had been his alone and that no players had been consulted prior to the head coach's dismissal. Kleiman added that he decided to part ways with the former head coach in the best interest of the team. So I don't know how much I believe that, because we're getting so many reports now of the issues that the players have had with Taylor Jenkins and some of the assistants in the locker room. So to say that it really didn't have to do with the players is kind of interesting for me to say. I mean, yes, they went on a bit of a drought as of late. Trying to win games wasn't really working out with them. But I really don't think at the end of the season, when they had such a good start and really up until about a month ago were playing very well. So very strange as well. In the best interest of the team to do it right now, I don't really know if I believe that so much, but those are what the reports are saying up to this point. But yeah, make sure to go down below and let me know what you think about that. Also says here, the Athletic Sam Amick, Fred Katz, and Joe Varden previously reported after that Morant remained supportive of the coach up to the end, but did not enjoy playing in an offensive system that takes the ball of his hands and removes the screens he likes to use as a ball handler to make plays. That's very interesting to me, and that's where that tweet's going to come in after when we mention that. I really didn't understand or know why there were so many issues happening within the locker room, but a lot seems to be pointing towards this. Ja Morant's touches have gone down drastically, and he's shooting the worst he has since his rookie season. Now, that's very interesting to me that less touches, lower field goal percentage. You think it would be a higher field goal percentage on such a low volume, but it just simply hasn't been the case. ESPN's Tim McMahon, meanwhile, reported that Jenkins' firing was about optimizing Ja Morant and part of an effort to keep him from seeking a trade this offseason. The Grizzlies signed Jenkins to a multi-year extension after he helped Memphis tie a single-season franchise record with 56 wins during the 2021-22 season. He departs Memphis with the 250-216 regular season record and a 9-14 playoff mark in 3 trips to the postseason, and he is the winningest coach in Memphis Grizzlies history, which, they haven't had much success, but through him, it seems like they did. I mean, they struggled a little bit lately. Playoffs haven't been, really that great, but they've always lost to a better team in the postseason. So that's something to look at as well and kind of take things with a grain of salt in that fact.